For too long have the brambles been a thorn to our side at the allotment series, but that ends today as we are now fully equipped with 30% white vinegar, and we are hopefully going to be trying to eradicate it or stop it from growing. Join me today on the allotment series and let's try and get rid of this. Hello everyone and welcome back to the allotment series, where we're having a nice sunny day here in the UK to the point where it's actually a heat wave. But what plants actually grow the best with heat waves? Well, I'll give you a hint, it isn't the plants that you want to try and grow. Whenever a heat wave comes, they all tend to die. But there are a couple of things that tend to grow a lot better in heat waves, even when they don't even get watered for weeks. And that is weeds and brambles. Basically all the stuff you don't want growing anywhere on allotment or anywhere else. I don't know why, even with no water, they just keep growing like mad. And that is why, in today's episode, we're taking the fight right back at them. We're going to try and clear a nice barrier down the side of our allotment to the one that's been vacant for ages, using 30% white vinegar. Alright, coming to the shade a bit as it's really hot out there. But we did do a video using the 5% white vinegar, testing it on different areas to see how effective it was, and the 5% white vinegar actually did very well on the brambles at the allotment. So we thought we'd upgrade it to the 30% white vinegar, and hopefully we can clear out a good area of it to try and stop it from growing and encroaching into our area. So the reason why we are doing this today is because we are spending too much of our own free time trying to maintain areas which we shouldn't be touching. But I'll talk about that a little bit more in depth later on in the video. But for now, we're going to have to try and brave the sun, brave the heat. So before we use the white vinegar, I want to try and create a little bit of a barrier down here. But this is what this area looks like already. So you can see I've already done a little bit of it around the border of the allotment so far, and it looks really good. And if anything does grow in this area, I can just simply remove it and haven't got to worry. Down there is a little bit more condensed than I would like it to be. So I'm going to try and create a better path. All right then, let's get on it then. Alright, so that is probably as far as I'm going to go. It is the wrong type of day to be doing this sort of labour. I am absolutely sweating. But to be fair, we have cleared a nice little path out. At the back, it does get quite condensed. There is a lot of stuff in the ground. Even though we did pull out a lot of membrane, a lot of bramble roots, there is still a lot more back there. I even think there's even a plastic sheet back there. So we'll deal with that with another day. But now this gives us a nice area in which we can now spray all the brambles and haven't got to worry about it now trying to climb back over. Okay, so now we are going to be applying the white vinegar. But there is one thing we're going to have to do first, and that is change our clothes, as this stuff can be quite dangerous. So I'll be right back. Alright then, today is not the day to be wearing full length clothes. It's 32 degrees out here, so let's get this over and done with quickly. So for you guys who didn't watch my video on making a homemade weed killer, I'm going to quickly demonstrate the mixing ratio of this white vinegar, as it is quite simple to do. Now, we've got to be careful, we don't want any of this making contact with our skin. So first of all, we'll put 2 litres of the vinegar into our pressurised water bottle. Next, we got to add 4 tablespoons of table salt. And lastly, we need some washing up liquid, and we only need a teaspoon of this. Now we just mix it up. Right, and we're ready to go. So if some of you guys are new to the allotment series, you wouldn't know, but a lot of the plots around our allotments are vacant, but they are literally overgrown with brambles. And at one point, my allotment did look like this as well. But the only issue that we're having is me and my neighbour who owns this plot here. We are continuously fighting this one big set of brambles, as no one wants to take the plot over. And we can see here how my neighbour's been dealing with these brambles. He's been using the grass cuttings from when he's been cutting the grass around the allotment, putting them straight on the brambles. So as these start decomposing, it should stop the sunlight hitting the brambles, and it has actually done a good job. He has made a kind of a wall here from the brambles. We need to do something else, as they just keep growing all the time. So a couple of things I got to mention before using this. It's usually better to use this in direct sunlight. Unfortunately, we might have a bit of patchy sunlight as the sun is going through the trees at the moment, but it doesn't matter. This should still be good enough. And also, this stuff does not discriminate what it lands on. So we've got to be careful not to accidentally spray any of our own crops or any of my neighbour's crops. We just got to try and spray it directly all over these brambles. So yeah, let's get going. I got to admit, even though I've got all this on, that still stinks. That is all the 5 litres done. Right, let's get away from here. This stuff absolutely stinks. Wow, that's really strong. But now we just got to play a waiting game. It takes about 24 hours for this to actually work. So we'll probably have to come back tomorrow and see the results of it. Yeah, I've given it all a good soak in, the area which is by my actual plot. So yeah, we'll see what happens tomorrow. Oh, that actually feels really good to finally get out of those clothes. Oh, I am sweating. But now you guys, I hope you don't mind, I would like to have a little bit of a chat about the allotment series. So I'd like to say first of all that I am slightly jealous of other YouTubers with their allotments. Not in a spiteful way, but in a way of when I watch other YouTubers and allotment series, I see how much they're growing, how much their allotments are progressing. Don't get me wrong, when I took this allotment on and I took this series on, I knew that this year wasn't going to be a very big progressive growing year. But it's like a really nice jealousy where I'm looking at all these people and all the stuff they're putting on the ground already. I'm like, wow, that's amazing. We're actually doing a bit of a different type of series where we're learning along the way all the different techniques on how to deal with weeds, how to deal with problems, how to build stuff from the ground up. So I kind of feel like this series is quite unique in a way. but we haven't got to the fun part yet of actually growing stuff. Also, I would like to update you guys on a couple of other problems that I've experienced on the allotment that I haven't showcased in the allotment series yet. Now this tree here, which is in the corner of the allotment, isn't in my boundaries. My boundary post isn't supposed to be there. It's supposed to be over here, which then goes all the way over there. So it's quite close to this tree. And this tree is full of ivy. So I did a couple YouTube shorts trying to remove the ivy from this tree, as I wanted to prune the tree a lot better than what I did. As when we cut all the overhanging branches down, we kind of done a botched job of it, where we could have done it a lot better. But as I was learning how to deal with ivy growing up trees, none of the ivy was actually dying. You can physically see where I've cut it. Like there's nothing there, like it shouldn't be growing no more. But then I discovered behind the actual tree itself, and I've noticed the back of the tree is completely rotten. Look at it, it's all just completely rotten away. And there's also, I'm assuming, like an army of ants living in a tree. And due to the way the sun goes at this allotment, so it goes from over here all the way back there, putting a shed here would be perfect, as it's right out the way and it's going to not block any plants getting the sun. The only problem is, it is right next to this tree. And the tree is leaning in a way where if it was to fall, it would fall straight onto my allotment. So I have sent an email off to the council, but they have yet to reply. And there is also another couple of trees, but these ones are on the outside of the boundary of the allotment. And it's these two here. Even though they look nice and green, that is just the ivy growing up them, but they are also both dead. And the same issue applies. If they were to fall over, they'd be falling straight over onto my allotment and could potentially damage something. But unfortunately, those two trees are on the council side of things again. So they are on council land. In theory, this tree is on council land as well, because this allotment premises is council land. But we can't do nothing about that tree as it is too big. So at the moment, we are at a bit of a stalemate where we cannot go mental with building stuff, but that isn't going to stop us from doing what else we need to do on the allotment. So I just want to apologise about the rambling, but unfortunately certain things are out of my control at the moment, but we can still just do the best we can with what we've got, and we still got quite a lot to do. But it's just a shame that we can't get these trees sorted sooner, as I would like to get a shed here as soon as we can. But now let's go on to some more positive stuff, and let's go and check up on the Three Sister project that we've got going on in the corner of the allotment. So it's probably been nearly a month since I last showed the Three Sisters method. This one's actually got the stuff coming from it, even though there's no cobs growing yet. We got some of the peas starting to slowly climb up the corn. And I feel like the corn is at a good height at the moment, that the peas will not be able to catch up. I have planted some bean plants. Not all the peas made it. I am struggling to grow peas this year, as of many you are, but I have now started growing some beans as well, as I want to see if they would be any better than growing the peas. But the cucumbers, as you can see from this one here, are mixed results. So the cucumber plants haven't really grown as well as I would like them to, as I wanted the cucumber plants to act like a mulch layer to protect the soil to keep it cool, but instead some of them are actually growing cucumbers, which this one here is growing a nice one there. And this cucumber plant, even though it's tiny, is still producing enough energy to make quite a decent sized cucumber at the moment. But this cucumber here is struggling. I have removed the cucumbers from it so it can try and focus on growing. The same on this one here, and the same as this cucumber over here. I feel like we can try and help this, and that is by doing two different things. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to mulch it. I have already mulched this area with dry grass, but you can hardly see it anymore. But I'm going to mulch it with some straw. Hopefully the cucumbers will then start growing bigger, and then that should act as the mulch. And we're also going to get some chicken pellets. Now, thanks to you guys, I have found out that chicken pellets are apparently a very good fertilizer. So as the UK, we are in this really bad heat wave at the moment. This will hopefully really benefit these plants. Yeah, we need to try and save as much water as we can, as I can't make it to the allotment every day. I would like to try a self-watering system or like an irrigation system, so while I'm not here on my days off, the plants can still get watered and I haven't got to worry about nothing. So now we are just waiting for the white vinegar to take effect on the brambles, and I think it already is because the leaves are starting to turn a weird colour already, and it's not even been an hour yet. We'll go to B&Q now and get some chicken pellets. I did try finding some like alternatives to the chicken pellets, like see if there's any like local farms or local distributions here where I live, but unfortunately on such short notice I think B&Q is the only option. So let's go there now and let's go and collect our chicken pellets. Right, I found it, and the tub is a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. That's massive, but it is next to the bone mill. So we'll try this stuff out first, and then if it doesn't work, we'll get some bone meal and see if that works. So for that big tub of pellets, it was £17. Now I'm sure I could get them somewhere else at a better rate for more kilograms of it. But yeah, if you guys know anywhere else you can get them from, then please let me know. So let's head off to the allotment now and see what the damage has done from the white vinegar. Oh wow, that white vinegar has done actually really well. So this is absolutely amazing. Look at how much damage that one bottle of white vinegar done to all these brambles all the way along here. And this is only probably just under 24 hours as well. So now that it has all died back, and plus we've still got an immense amount of heat coming down, this might die back a little bit more further. Now, unfortunately, this isn't going to stop it forever from growing. This isn't just going to be a permanent one-time, one use, and it just never grows again. It will grow again, but all it's doing now is going to give me time where I haven't got to worry about this now for a couple of weeks. And hopefully once the cold season starts, this won't be as big as it was, and then we can clear it back further. And then hopefully next season, someone takes the plot on, and we've done half the work for them. And yeah, we haven't got to worry about these brambles here ever again. But if not, we'll have to use the white vinegar method again, or if there's any other ways that you guys would recommend. I have seen as well about burning, but I don't want to burn nothing now. We are in a heat wave. I don't want to end up making a massive fire at the allotment. But yeah, there is also a possibility that we could use fire to also help burn these off. But any other ideas, then please let me know. Also, if you guys are interested, I will put a link in the description down below where I bought this white vinegar from, the 30% one. The only downside is I think this was just over 15 quid to buy this, where the 5% vinegar was probably about a £5, but you pay for what you get, and this stuff was a lot stronger. So now let's have a look at these chicken pellets. Okay, so we did buy 10 kilograms of this stuff. I've never used chicken pellets before, so this is going to be fun. Oh, that stinks straight away. Hey, that's quite cool, look at that. So apparently these are really, really good. Oh, I'm going to have to wash my hands after doing this though. Oh. So I have made a slight mistake about applying these pellets, and that is I've put the mulch down already. We need to mix these pellets into the top layer of soil and then water them so the nutrients can then soak down into the soil, but I've mulched it, so I'm going to have to move the mulch out of the way to then apply the pellets. Do it around these two first. Try and scratch away at the top layer. Right, to my understanding, give it basically around the base of the plant. Mix that all in. So now I'll just go around and apply this to all the surrounding plants. I say it's my fault, I jumped the gun there. Don't know why, but I thought mulch first would be a good idea. But we live and learn. So for the pellets to actually start working, I am going to have to water them into the ground, but unfortunately it's still 32 degrees out and the direct sun is hitting my plants, so I don't want them to start withering, so I'll probably water them later on off camera. So apparently these chicken pellets are slow releasing. They can release nutrients up to 3 months, and it does say there's multiple different ways you can apply this. but I think I've done that correctly. Let me know in the comments if I've accidentally done that wrong. So unfortunately, that is it for today for the allotment series. It's been hard to do anything because of this heat. I know other allotment YouTubers are also struggling with this heat, but because most of my stuff here is like manual labor and graft at the moment, doing it in this heat is almost impossible. Slow and steady, hopefully it wins the race. But yes, like I said earlier in the episode, we're going to have to wait for the council to do something about these trees before we do anything else. But if you guys have got any ideas on what else I could try and do in the meantime, there are still things that I do need to do. I need to get some more pallets, I need to get more wood for the borders, I need to get more cardboard, more wood chip. So we still have got a lot of things to do. It's just, unfortunately, it's just very slow, progressive stuff. It isn't going to change overnight like that, unfortunately. Yes, I hope you guys have enjoyed today's episode, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one. So, goodbye.